with Nate, myself, Darwin. Today we have special guest, recently black belt promoted, Devin Stevens.
Third,
How you doing, sir?
slushy.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Doing
right.
great. Yeah,
That's your beef.
slushy street beefs. Check it out. Yeah, just started training full time, so a lot of being broke, but it's totally worth it. So I'm loving it. Loving it.
How did the slushy come out? The nickname.
Well, I didn't know going up to street beefs you have to have a nickname. And when they put me on the spot to choose, I just saw someone drinking a slushy, so I was like, slushy, slushy, slushy. I'll go with that. Fits my personality. I'm built like a slushy, so no one, expected me to go out there and win. So it was worth it.
What you call? You are ice cold, like ice in your veins.
That's
That's the
right.
slushy.
Yes, I'll give you a brain freeze.
Yeah. Man. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like your
Yeah,
beginnings?
yeah, for sure. So growing up, um, I lived with my mom, and we were pretty like low class, broke, and I would go to my dad's on the weekends, and I thought he was like a demigod. He's built like a brick house, like he's built different, and I've seen him, fight and do jiu-jitsu, and I just wanted, to be like him, but I was from like the outside looking in. So I didn't get to move in with him when I was 12 till I was 12, and that's when I really got into jiu-jitsu. And honestly, other than jiu-jitsu, I've never had really any other hobbies. I never played football, never played baseball, never played any of that. I wrestled from the time I was 6 all the way through ninth grade, and obviously that helps a lot in jiu-jitsu. And other than that, I'm kind of a nerd. Not a smart one, but like into nerdy things like Star Wars, Game of Thrones, crazy stuff like that. Texas Hold'em, billiards, all that. So yeah, not much of an athlete other than jiu-jitsu, but that's all I live for is jiu-jitsu. So I love it.
Just a bit about jiu-jitsu. You don't have to. You can be your own type of athletic, and you have your own game.
Oh, exactly, exactly. Absolutely. You don't have to, have 8 pack and just, be super athletic, have great cardio to go out there and be great at jiu-jitsu. I mean, look at Gordon Ryan. He's not like a super athlete. He's not fast. He's just nice and slow, steady pace, and he's the GOAT. So
Yep.
Yes.
same thing
So
with the
there,
Gracies. I mean, UFC one, you watch, if you looked at all those guys, no one would have picked, Gracie to win that. Hoist Gracie. So, I mean, it definitely don't take being a D1 athlete to, be good at jiu-jitsu. So,
no, that's true. That's cool. I mean, so I'm curious. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about your dad's like fighting past. You said you watched him do jujitsu. You watched him fight. Is he? I mean, he's obviously very good at jujitsu.
yeah.
Um, is that what caught your eye? Is that why you got so deep into jiu-jitsu? Because your dad did that primarily, or like I don't know his striking background at all.
Yeah, he's actually, believe it or not, 6th degree black belt in karate. He got that
Wow.
doing it a whole 4 or 5 years, how karate works. But yeah, so he was a, karate black belt and under my uncle on my mom's side, my mom's brother. And that's how he ended up meeting my mom and having me. But his first MMA fight, he actually lost. He just went out there and he just knew karate and wrestling because he wrestled too, and got destroyed. And as a bouncer, he punched someone in the mouth, and the guy's 2 front teeth got stuck in his
Oh,
knuckle. And I
jeez.
believe one of them's still in there today. And he almost lost his hand, so it kind of took away his right hooks and everything. And that's how he ended up discovering jiu-jitsu, and it worked for him. He won the rest of his fights, and I thought it was amazing. He took people down with ease and got on top, submitted them, kneeing them. It was awesome. So yeah, being on the outside looking in, I didn't really get to see his training much as a kid. I just saw the results, and I wanted to do whatever he did. So that's how that played out. Crazy, great stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and also you said about like the Gracies. Also, Helio he wasn't that big of a guy either. Helio
No,
Gracie.
yeah, very small guy.
Yeah,
Very
and he
small
used to
guy.
have
Dude.
a
I
lot
was
of
actually the
challenges.
other day. Yeah, I was actually the other day watching Gracie challenges, like hidden footage ones, and it was crazy. They go into like kung fu schools and beat up all the guys. I mean that's awesome. I wish we could do that. Like every off day, every Monday, I wish we could go to True Taekwondo, just challenge them, bring more people to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, give the true essence of self-defense.
yeah, no kidding. I definitely think jiu-jitsu is the best martial arts for self-defense. Maybe not as much in MMA anymore because if you're a good striker and a good wrestler, you just need to know a little bit of jiu-jitsu to be good in MMA. But for self-defense, we're primarily the only martial arts that knows how to fight off our backs and get on the ground. So all we got to do is get someone down, and it's a wrap. I mean, Joe Rogan talks about it all the time, and it's very true. It's very true.
It's like your own realm. Put people in
Absolutely.
your own realm and dominate them there.
Absolutely. You do what you want with them. You can hold them down until the cops get there. I mean, it's amazing. With no harm done. You put someone in a gift wrap and you can just hold them there and be safe. It's amazing.
Have you, on that note, have you seen the Gracie's new method of holding people down? You must have by now.
I
The
haven't seen that.
whole oh really the whole it's the tie up method when they got two guys. They like I don't know how to describe it. They wrap them up and they were doing challenges where they would like put some mats down out in public and just have random people come up and be like, "Hey, $100 we can hold you down. Like you can't grab this gun,
What?
this toy gun that they put like right by him or something like that." And they hold them down. It's really funny to see.
I have not seen that. I'm gonna have to check that out though.
But it's a
That's
new
why.
system they're trying to teach cops now.
Yeah, that's
Henner?
awesome.
What's that?
Is that Henner or Gracie?
I believe yes. It's one of the brothers who like
Okay.
goes out and sells stuff all the time.
Okay. I know it was the old one, like old Gracie's videos or stuff like that.
No, this is new stuff.
Okay, yeah, new stuff. Yeah, that's probably why I ain't seen it yet. I've been watching all the
Yeah.
old stuff.
Okay, yeah. But
It's crazy. Oh man. In the kind of getting off topic. In the world like of a lot of cloud things going on, they have like information available. It's easy to just put out shit. And like for example, trying to defend yourself when somebody has a in your car and grabs your seatbelt and trying to choke you, like trying to push the car seat
Trying to push
back.
the seat back. Yeah, nice and slowly.
Yeah, like those things don't work as those videos show.
Yeah, no, definitely
yeah.
not. Definitely not. Yeah, those McDojo videos. I love them though. I can't lie.
They are very entertaining.
This is like America's funniest videos for martial arts.
For real
This
though.
like,
There's one with Steven Seagal, and he's very serious about it. This ain't a McDojo thing. He's talking about why Aikido is the best martial art, and he's in a jiu-jitsu school, and someone asked, well, what if we go in and take you down? And he's like, well, you won't be able to take me down because as soon as your head goes down, you're going to be dead. I'm like, what? There ain't no way. Let Nicky Rod take you down and see if you kill him beforehand.
that's crazy. And he was a sheriff at one point, right?
Who?
Steven Seagal. He used to have a show that he was like a for real sheriff in a county. Yeah, he was like arresting people and stuff like that. I think it was Oklahoma or something like that.
Wow, yeah, that's news to me. I didn't know that.
Where was it? Because remember there used to be videos about him. Like one of those like Spike TV or one of those like real TV, like True TV or something like that. They used to have like a show about him being a sheriff.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know sheriffs could have ponytails.
Yeah. That's the neck cape. I think it was sheriff New Mexico. That's what it was.
New Mexico. Wow.
In 2013.
That's pretty recent.
Yeah. He wasn't like in prime either. That's when he I wonder if Anderson Silva kick got him that position. Remember when he knocked out Vitor Belfort?
Yeah. The spider.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like,
he was up at Henzo's. Anderson Silva. He was up at Henzo's when I was up there. So I got to say hey to him. That was pretty cool.
How was that experience there at Henzo?
Oh man, it was great. The training up there is different, man. Jake Shields, rolling with him, it was the hardest roll of my life. Like the way John would do it, it was always starting in a bad position. And I remember Jake started on my back, and I had my chin down, but he didn't even try to go under my. He just went over my nose, cross face, and just pulled as hard as he could for like 8 straight minutes. That's what that was, and I was so mad. But what am I going to do to Jake Shields? Get up and try to fight him. it was awful. And then rolling with, Gary Tonin and Gordon Ryan, they remember me. They actually knew my name and got to roll with them a little bit. And you know how like you're rolling and you accidentally knee someone or injure someone? Man, I felt so bad. It was the worst I've ever felt. I accidentally pinned my knee on Gary Tonin's fingers, and he kind of did it like this, and he was training for a fight. I was like, oh, no. I cannot be the reason. I felt so bad, but he was fine. All he did was this, and he kept rolling. It just hurt my feelings so bad. But, yeah, the training up there was different. I've been up there 3 or 4 times, and it was different, man. The way, like, at the morning class, I was there at, like, 8 o'clock in the morning. There's, like, 200 people on the mats. It is crazy. And the thing about it is there's too many people. John can't walk around like at a small school and like help everybody. So if you don't know what to do, you just gotta ask someone who looks like they've been there a while. And it was crazy. He shows the move twice, and he shows 3 moves, and then you do positional rounds, full sparring rounds. It's crazy. It was awesome. I stayed at my aunt's in Jersey. Is it what?
The Blue Basement?
Yeah, the Blue Basement. Yeah, I miss it. I wish they were still there. I'd go up there more often. But because I had family in Jersey, I took the train every morning at 4 o'clock to get to New York just to train there, and it was amazing. And then guys like the ones the media picture as the bad guys, like DJ Jackson, he was up there, and he was like the nicest person ever. He walked up and down Manhattan with me and everything, and I was like a big fanboy, and that like meant a lot. And Craig Jones was up there. I got to roll with him a couple times. Isaac Michelle, Ethan Krellenstein, Damian Anderson. Got to roll with all those guys. Except Nicky Rod. He was there. But while John was teaching, everybody was so quiet and focused. Except Nicky Rod. He was in the back, like pacing, punching himself, smacking himself. I was like, I'm not rolling with that guy. And that's before anyone knew who he was, too. It was crazy. So I avoided rolling with him. Yeah, for real. So I avoided rolling with Nicky Rod, but I got to roll with the rest of the squad, and it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact: first Gordon Ryan seminar was at Section A.
I believe it was. I'm like 90% sure his very first seminar, at least for sure outside of New York and New Jersey, was at Section A MMA, August 2015. So we can always, he pulled up to, like, the next time he came down, he was wearing the Section 8 rash guard representing, and that was awesome. That really changed the game for me. So
Is that when you got into the heel hooks?
Before that, actually, and that goes with some of the points we're going to go over. Like in 2015, we went up. Dad took me up to New York to do a private lesson with Eddie Cummings, who he don't compete no more, but he was the greatest leg. I still consider him the greatest leg locker of all time. That's all he did. And it wasn't. He hadn't won an EBI or anything yet. He had competed in one, and I've never seen anyone throw my father around the way Eddie Cummings did. And he showed us the basic ankle lock, the basic heel hook, and for 1 hour of a private lesson. And I was a white belt, and I came back down to the gym, and I started leg locking purple belts and brown belts. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. I'm ahead of the game now. I'm going to beat everybody. And then it was like a month later, Gordon Ryan came down and did the seminar. But amazing. Yeah. And this was like 19-year-old Gordon Ryan too, like 150, 60 pounds kid who, no one would look at me scared. Now you'd look at him be terrified. But back then he was just like a 19-year-old kid. And it was crazy. Yes, baby faced. Yes. It was wild. Nicky was there. Nicky Ryan. That was awesome.
That is funny. It does seem like even still, a lot of the leg entanglements are the bane of the upper belt's existence. It's funny how it's kind of stayed true. I mean, it's fading out because you have to learn them, right? But
absolutely, now you have to learn them. Yeah, back then, people didn't really know how to defend them. So
Yeah, exactly. It was the kryptonite, you know.
yeah, exactly. Jiu-jitsu's always evolving. It's always evolving.
Yep.
So right now they're kind of dying down, but not with me though.
Well,
So.
you say they're dying down. I feel like they're not as people aren't finishing with them as much, but I think it's because you have to know how to defend them now, or you get finished. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely, you're
they're
not going to be
always
able to
there.
compete very long if you don't.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then even now, like the Ruotoga guys who are known for top wrestling and passing, they're even sitting back for leg locks now when the passing game ain't working and upper body submissions. Like it's like what an armbar was in the 2010s, and before that, like you got to know how to defend an armbar if you're going to do this. And now you got to know how to defend a heel hook and a straight ankle lock and a knee bar and a toe hold now too, if you're going to compete for a long time. So got to know it now.
The crazy thing about it, like there's new moves every time because the heel hook, going to Achilles and then Aoki as well. Like they just like put together moves that you're like, okay, I know how to defend this, but then you get put in a bad position. It's like, oh shit, I'm in a different move now. How the fuck do I defend this now?
Exactly. I still don't even know how to defend the Aoki lock. That one's crazy. We were just working on it the other night.
I got caught in it by accident. We were going over something else, and somebody got me in that because we were working on Achilles ankle lock, and I got my heel out, and somebody was cranking my foot, and I was like, "What is this? My foot is stuck. I can't get it out." I know that shit was a real move.
Then the next time you came, you took your wrestling shoes off, so never again.
Yeah. Dude, they got all the grip in there when they get my wrestling shoes.
Yes. Yeah, oh, absolutely. So at my Street Beast fight, my last one, I heel hooked that dude who had tennis shoes on. I mean, just couldn't resist. He was just giving it to you from the start.
Yeah.
He was gonna try to kick my face in. No, you can't. There ain't no heel slipping. So.
Yeah, once you get like the 90 degrees on the ankle and just torque, it's game over. Because there's no.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like socks too would even be better than shoes if someone for some reason just had socks on. I think that would help. It's like that's why when I compete, I always wear a long sleeve rash guard. It sticks more. Like if you start getting sweaty and you're in short sleeve, they can heel slip a lot easier. But in a long sleeve, when it's sticky, I think it'd be the same thing for like a sock. But I don't know.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's why Eddie Bravo wore gi pants in that match against one of the greatest.
It's a Hoyler?
Yeah, Hoyler Gracie. Yeah. One of the greatest matches ever, yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
I still watch that match from beginning to end.
Sure. Yeah.
Like even for that time, it's still to this day a high level jiu-jitsu.
No doubt.
And that's also the guy that's a pioneer of the sport too. Because he has his own system. 10-planet system.
Absolutely. Submitted to Gracie with it. I mean, it ain't no joke. That's wild.
You see some of those moves that they do. His system, like for example, like the twister. Very seldom do I see a vaporizer. But man, if you get somebody in a vaporizer, it's game over because the knee's just gone.
Yeah.
I did it to Coach Matt one day. He's a big dude in black belt. Y'all know him. And I did it to him, but he still somehow was able to armbar me. I don't know how. That was wild. I was upset. I was very sad. One of the down parts of jiu-jitsu.
It's that veteran black belt voodoo magic that they pull.
Yes.
You live by the bell, you die by the bell.
You live by the bell and die by the bell.
But yeah, like
that's wild.
Because he like the 10-planet system, they have like their own. You know how Gordon Ryan, they like to use Japanese terms, but they're like 10th planet. They use a lot of stoner language.
Yeah.
Like
also positions too as well. For example, like the trunk position.
He's got one called crackhead control. He does got a position called crackhead control, and then the scorpion.
Like a zombie? Isn't there a zombie one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Yes, there is.
Zombie.
The first jiu-jitsu book I ever read. was mastering the Twister. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
Eddie Bravo was mastering the Twister. I still have that book. That was crazy. Came out like 08. He still uses those moves. All those guys do. I love it. I actually fought a 10th Planet guy a couple weeks ago at TFA. I think it was the first time I fought a 10th Planet guy. And I studied him up, and he was a leg locker. So I was licking my chops. I was like, oh, yeah, it's going to be a leg lock battle. And when we went out there, he did not. He stood up and tried to pass my guard, and it was crazy. Like, he couldn't pass my guard, but I couldn't get underneath him either. It's not what I expected from a 10th Planet guy. It's what I would expect from like Derving or Matt Walker, just big heavy pressure wrestling. Really threw me off. That was I don't know, error on my part of studying.
That is interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that at all. I've gone against maybe a couple, and honestly, it felt different when I went against him. One of them, he started doing something with my arm, and I could tell he was doing something, and he was like setting up a weird slicer from down, like half guard. I don't know. I've had some, that was some weird stuff.
Probably the ham sandwich. That's a new slicer.
It might have been. Now. Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's wild.
But it is funny to me that's like, you got your Gracie schools, and like there's these different, like, I don't even know what you call them, like different studies of jiu-jitsu, and they're all mostly the same except 10th Planet. 10th Planet is like the outlier, you know what I mean?
Exactly, dude. I'd love to go to a class at one of their schools one day.
Honestly, yeah. Their warm-ups are pretty complicated. I don't know if they all do that, like, warm-up drill, but it's a cool idea.
I wonder if they, like, measure how flexible.
They have an alphabet warm-up system for
an alphabet?
I think it's B is like Hail Marys. So like try to pass somebody's guard and go straight into Kimura and like different moves. There's like different warm-up. Just they do like sequences instead of like warming up one move. They put like sequence of moves together as the warm-ups.
There's a whole flow that they have outlined for like each day that you come in.
That's interesting. I like that.
I feel like it would be really good. I mean, you learn the sequence of moves. Like, that's some of the hardest parts of jiu-jitsu, honestly. It's just tying things together. But once you can do that, it's hard to stop you.
I mean, it's really what it is. It's just physical chess. That's all it is. Yep. You just got to be like 6 steps ahead of every move.
Yes. Yep.
Actually.
Also takes away the uncertainty during your matches too, because you put sequences together. Like this go this and that. If you go here, for example, Gordon, he likes to have systematic approach to a lot of things. That way he explains things like, okay, if he does this right here, you do this. He does this, he does that. But if you're not able to practice that way, sequences, just during warm up, then like during the scramble, you can go there, do what you drill.
Yeah, that's why it's so crazy. I mean, seeing his breakdowns, like how in depth he can break things out. It's like, okay, I do this. He's got 2 things that he can do. It's like, oh my gosh, like, that's, to me, that's mind blowing. I
absolutely. Even as a black belt, and I'm watching, I'm like, I never would have thought that there was a triangle from bottom turtle, but there is. That's crazy. It's wild.
Is that how you try to set up your leg attacks? Is like in ways that you can, like, I know he's going to move here or here probably.
Yeah, I try to find a way to get to the legs from every position, offensive and like defensive. Like Gamby rolling from turtle works almost every time. And and like bottom mount, I used to all the time, would let people mount me. It got to the point where coaches of my opponents would literally be like, don't mount, do not go to mount, because I would throw my legs over their hips and be able to get to Ashy right there. And I try to be able to get to legs from everywhere, but bottom half guard, man, that's my jam.
That's a really funny position, isn't it? It's one of those positions. People like to go, like, I like being in top half guard. I love that. But then there's so many people like you who like the bottom half guard, and it's
Yeah. And that's the fun thing about jiu-jitsu. You get like stylistic matchups that are just so perfect. And like even to the average person who's not like ever seen, they would never understand. But like us jiu-jitsu nerds, even though it don't look like there's a lot going on in the match, there's a lot going on that you just don't see.
mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
like CJI, the first one, what's his name? Levi Jones Leary.
Levi Jones Leary, yeah.
Yeah, whenever he was going against Brutolo,
Yeah, Cade
the
Ruto,
bro,
yeah.
it's like, dude, there's a lot going on there. Even though like you're like, oh, he's just sitting down. Like, no, he can't pass his guard. You don't understand. He's trying to pass his guard, but he just can't pass his guard. Like, he's not getting. It's crazy how some people have like those crazy guard retentions.
Yeah, I know. I try to be one of those. Even as a big boy now, I still try to have those crazy guard retentions. That's important. He actually, I think Ty, he fought Levi Jones Leary the day before, and I think he tore like a ligament in his knee trying to pass Levi's guard.
Yeah, because they had like some sort of false read.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the false read. Yeah.
Is
Gosh,
he a
that was
like
such a good
Gal?
show.
He trains under Lachlan, yeah.
Mm.
And that's who I've been watching my instructional on here recently is Lachlan Giles. I'm still learning leg lock stuff, even though I've been doing them for 10 years now. Like, it constantly evolves. It's crazy how that works.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't the so not this last ADCC, but the ADCC before that? Didn't one of the Rotolo Bros beat Lachlan Giles via
Cade did with
armbar?
an armbar, yeah. Yeah, dude.
Bro, to see them
Lachlan
to
was like,
struggle so hard against a student, that I don't know, that's so cool to see.
exactly. I mean, you learn from your teammates. Like, if Derving goes against someone and I watch it, and then it's gonna help me know what to do and what not to do. Yeah, that's crazy how that works. That armbar was sexy too. I watched that match all the time. It came out of nowhere.
That was one of the fastest I've seen. I feel like that was insane.
Watch some old Hoffa Mendes gi matches. His arm bars are wild. Yeah. He's old school, but I love him.
Do you think like for example like Gauss is somebody that has a lot of matches, and when they go somebody that's new, they don't have much like as far as like research on them, do you think it makes them like more susceptible to losing to the experienced guy because they have like every move that he has done, especially somebody like Kei Rotolo that have been training since they were like walking? Or do you think it's the other way around?
I think it's the other way around. Guys like Lachlan and Eddie, those are guys that like what they're gonna do, and most people cannot stop it. And that's how I try to be. Like, everyone knows I'm going to sit down and try to leg lock them. And, if you win, congratulations. But if, you don't, you still win. Like, that was the thing about Eddie. Everyone knew he was going to leg lock him and that he was going to try to leg lock him. And he did, like, 90% of the time. Until we get to that EBI match with Gio Martinez. I don't know if you saw that, but he got Gio in a leg entanglement. And Gio literally would grab his foot and put it behind his head. Like, who does that? 10th Planet guy.
Yeah.
That's 10th Planet guy.
Yeah.
You try to get to my legs, you have to go through my head.
Yeah, dude. It was wild, man. So yeah, I'd say the other way around. And then there's guys like Ruotolo who can do anything. They can sit down and play guard if they wanted, but they choose not to. Like when what's his name? Jason Nolf, is that his name? That did CJI?
Yeah, the wrestler.
Ty could have sat down and just jiu-jitsu'd him. But instead, he wanted to challenge himself and wrestle him. That's crazy. I'd never do that. I would never do that. That's wild. I respect it.
At one point, he catch him in that triangle that he almost went out at the end of the second period.
Yeah, in the second round, he got that like reverse north-south like triangle. He was on bottom north-south and locked up a triangle. That's
right against the wall.
And he had a calf slicer with it. He was locking up the calf like that. wild. Props to Jason for just like not tapping.
Yeah, I think he's only a blue belt, Jason, but he's
Wow.
a 2 or 3 time national champion wrestling. Oh
Yeah.
man,
I'm interested to see Gable Stevenson and Craig Jones.
yeah. See how he does. I don't know. He has any ground game. Although he was in the same camp with John Jones and Gordon Ryan for his last fight.
Yep.
I don't know how he will like how fast he'll be able to pick up the submissions against Craig Jones.
Not fast enough, but if anyone can help him out, it's Gordon Ryan.
I have an idea. Only way Gil will be able to win shows up with a gold medal around his neck. Kryptonite.
Yeah, Craig's done. And Craig's done. Second place immediately.
Yeah, yeah. He just give up, man. That's his kryptonite. Gold.
I feel his pain though. Like for like 5 years straight at just local tournaments, like I would always do the absolute division, and I always made it to the finals. Naga, New Breed for like 4 years in a row, and always lost in the finals of the absolute division. Damn. So I get it ain't on that level. It's just local tournaments, but I feel the pain, man.
What do you think is worse, losing early in the round or made it all the way to finals and losing it?
All the way to the finals.
Because you made it right.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like losing early's got to be worse because, you make it. I don't know, if you can't beat anybody, it's kind of like, wow, oh gosh. But then you make it to the finals, at least you beat somebody.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like in the match, like losing early in the match or like at the end of the round. Yeah, in the tournament, like in the bracket, absolutely, I agree with Nate. Make it as far as possible. But like in a match, if I'm gonna lose, I want someone to like just absolutely destroy me instead of losing by like an advantage or something. Because then I'm more mad at myself. If someone just manhandles me, then I can't be mad at that. I just got to get better. But yeah.
What do you think about, speaking of like silly losses, what do you think about those like IBJJF rules? Like people losing because of silly stuff. For example, there was one recently I seen a video of a guy. He got disqualified because he had too much gel in his hair. And the referee felt and he had too much gel. He DQ'd the guy.
I'm not a fan.
I didn't see that. Although I will say that's pretty dumb to put. Why would you gel your hair that much before a tournament? I don't know. That to me is like, at a certain point you're asking for it, but
yeah, I don't know. I've always been not a fan of IBJJF rules. Like for years, like 20 plus years, you couldn't even reap the knee or heel hook at any belt level, and that's a big part of the sport, especially nowadays. But they changed it up to where only brown and black belts can do it. But up till Masters, once you go to Masters, you can't do it no more. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy. And then they don't pay nobody nothing. Like so that's why none of the big names really do it anymore. Then you saw, I think Pat Downey, he got gold, right, at Blue Belt Worlds. And then dude wanted to fist fight him, and he fought back, and he got disqualified and banned from IBJJF. That's a lot.
Yeah, he was like, what? How did I get kicked out somewhere? I already quit.
Like the ones that really get me are like what's that?
Pat Downey, when he said, how do you get kicked out of a place that you already quit? I'm not going back there. I didn't go and sign up for them or IBJJF matches.
Yeah, he wasn't going back, and they still kicked him. They still banned him.
Yeah, they were like 2-year ban or something like that.
Mm. Like if it was mid-match, I'd understand, but he had already won. It was done.
He choked out that guy. He's some random Russian. He choked him out. He
woke up and wanted to throw hands.
Yeah. He lost his jiu-jitsu match, so he wanted to make a striking match.
Yeah.
Gotta change style. It's like Khabib can win that one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Khabib and Dylan Dennis, if y'all remember that.
Yes.
That was crazy. That was crazy. I met Dylan Dennis, and he's one of those other people. And he was one of the nicest people I ever met. He was so kind. Wanted to know where I trained and everything. I met him at a IBJJF in Atlanta. And it was amazing. Him and AJ Agazarm, another guy who's like a bad guy in the media, but he was really nice too. They had a match, and everyone in that arena got quiet and just watched that match. It was really cool. but both guys were really nice in person.
Which one was that? The event, like altercation, him and King Ryan. So they got into
Dylan or AJ, they both had altercations with Gordon.
Dylan.
Their first one goes all the way back to like 2015 at an ADCC trials. It was Gary Tonin had a match against Munch. He was a Marcelo Garcia black belt too. And it was like a call. It came down to a decision, and they gave it to Gary. And then Dylan came up wanting to throw hands with everybody, the ref, Gary, and everything. And Gordon, no one knew who he was at the time. He hadn't won anything. I mean, I did from local like tournaments, but he had the Burger King like crown on, and just walked right up behind Dylan and kind of just stared at him like like a retard. And that was the first time. And then it just went on from there, back and forth. But at the time, Gordon was at Renzo Gracie in New York City, and then Dylan and the Marcelo Garcia Dream Team were in New York City as well. So it was like a crosstown rivalry. So they were never going to get along.
Yeah, Ryan went full spectrum on that one. It's autism with the working crown.
Yeah, he did. I started doing it too, but it was uncool by the time I started doing it.
People started believing you. That man, he might have autism. Oh man. What's like along your journey? Like, what are some key milestones, challenges?
Man, let me tell you, the first one I'd say is just getting that first stripe on your white belt. If y'all remember that, Phil, and that for me was like so rewarding. Like for one little piece of tape, all the rolls and getting tapped out and beat up, and that just made me want to keep going. That first little piece of tape on that white belt, like I was like, okay, I'm all in. This is like a challenge. I want to go as long as I can. And then I would say training up in New York City. Like I've done that 3 or 4 times now with Eddie Cummings, and then I went back for a private lesson with Gordon Ryan and Gary Tonin, and going up there and training with the DDS for 3 months. That was a big part of my career. And then double golding blue belt no-gi pans. Like that moment, that was like to this day the best competition moment for me, because Matt Walker, a teammate of ours, he got gold at no-gi pans, and I always wanted to somehow, I can never beat him up because he's Matt Walker, but I always wanted to have something on him. So I double golded pans, and I give him hell to it to this day. So, but I only fought one person and still double golded, but I double golded. So there was no one in my bracket, so I got gold. And then in the open weight, there was one, and I don't know the truth of this to this day, but someone, I think Vernon Kirk, said that the guy I went against was Matt Serra's son, because the guy's last name was Serra. And I don't know if it was or not, but I still tell everyone that it was, because that's what I was told. And say I beat him in the finals of and I did. I beat him, and that was cool. And then Dad competed too. He got second place in his division, ankle locked everyone all the way up to the finals. And John Shell, he competed up there too. So that was fun. My first ever super fight was on Pro Jitsu, July 23rd in 2016. My dad did a Pro Jitsu, and I really wanted to do one too. And he went through hell to get, because no one wants to see white belts roll at a super fight, but he was able to get me a match on there. And that was my first super fight win, because I'm sure you guys know tournaments where no one really cares. Like there's 8 matches going, like the anxiety is not as bad, but when it's quiet and all eyes are on you and your opponent, the anxiety level just, for me at least, it shoots all the way up. And being able to win my first one, that was amazing. And as far as challenges go, the biggest one was a little over a year ago now. The first time I was ever out really for a long time of training. I had a cyst like on the top of my butt, and I had to have 4 surgeries on that. And that was a long 11 months I couldn't train, watching all my teammates go out and compete and win. And I'm just sitting at home. My girlfriend's having to like plug up the hole 3 times a day, and it was because they couldn't sew it up. So I couldn't do anything, and I gained like 60 pounds, and I've still not recovered from that, just doing nothing. And so that was the biggest challenge, man. And then having to come back immediately and be a instructor, and then I'm sitting here telling my students, like, I can't roll, because I've been out a year. A lot of the students are new. They have no clue who I am. and they're just having to trust the fact that I'm, a jiu-jitsu brown belt at the time. And I hated not being able to roll, but I was still able to teach, and then I would work my way back. And that was a lot. That was a lot. That was the biggest challenge, I'd say. Just injuries in general. I broke both of my thumbs like twice doing freaking spider guard, freaking the gi, man. Mess your fingers up.
Yeah, fingers are non-existent. Fingers are like the cauliflower of grappling in the gi.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You see like some of those if you go to Masters Worlds and just look at everyone's fingers, it is just they have like 8 knuckles on each finger.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like because like all the tape that they wear too on them.
Yeah.
It's not so much
Lots of
to
money on
be pain free, but it was like to keep their fingers together.
Yeah. 100%.
Like what lessons did you learn like at each belt level as you were coming up?
Yeah, so I'd say the biggest lesson I learned, and I tell my students this now, is to always tap in the gym. Tap early. It's okay. Like lay your ego down and tap. Like even as a black belt, and I'm rolling with the white belt, and they're like trying to armbar me, I tap. I want to be able to do jiu-jitsu as long as I can. Right? Competing, coaching, all of it, and training safe is important. So I would definitely say as a white belt and a blue belt, early on, you need to tap a lot. That's the biggest thing. And there's two different guys that walk in, like the ones who want to compete and be an athlete, and then the ones that are just there for self-defense. It's totally different. And as far as the competition ones go, if you're going to compete, I'd say do it a lot early as a white belt and a blue belt. Know what it feels like to lose and to get absolutely destroyed, and know what it feels like to win. And I think it's very important to do that early on. Because in my opinion, I think everyone's different. But for me, like the anxiety gets worse the higher belt rank you get. As a white belt and a blue belt, no one really cares if you win or lose. Once you start being teaching and helping out, I mean, you gotta step your game up a little bit. So I think competing a lot early on is very important. Then once you get like,
Do you think that's the reason why there's more competitors in white belt and blue belts than in the higher belts?
I think so. I think that's why. Because I think that's the best way to go about it is to just compete. Like, there's no way. It's like teaching you how to swim when you're young. You just got to throw them into the pool. You just got to throw them if you want to compete. Not everyone wants to, and I mean that's okay. It depends on what you're in training for. But if you are going to compete, it's very, very important to throw yourself into the fire to just go ahead and compete. Because once you get up to purple belt, that's when you're in like with the big boys. I feel like as a competitor, as a purple belt, you're actually starting over because now you're like the rookie of the big leagues. You're going again in the expert division against brown and black belts. So if you don't know how to lose as a purple belt, then you're going to be maybe one and done, maybe compete twice and be done. So because purple belt was the toughest one for me when it came to competing. And then as a brown belt, I find it very important you got to learn what you've learned in jiu-jitsu. You got to learn how to teach because that's an art of itself. You could be the greatest competitor and be a terrible teacher. You could be a great teacher and have never, competed. And so if you want to do both, like I feel like if you've made it, as you guys know, you've been training a while, it's hard to make it past blue belt. Like I've seen so many people get the blue belt and never come back. And if you've made it to brown belt, I think most of the time they're going to stick with it at least till they get their black belt because you're already almost there. And once you're a black belt, you're most likely going to be teaching. So I think it's important as a brown belt to learn how to teach little classes, smaller classes, give pointers out. So that way when you're a black belt and you're teaching, you're ready to instruct because that's an art of itself that I'm still working on. So I'm trying to get better at teaching too.
Would you say like competing also like gives you game better, even though you don't want to be like a athlete itself in the sport? Most of like
Mm-hmm.
going to competition class, for example, just like see what your game is at, other than just drilling. We see like
Mm-hmm.
game like exponentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to know where your strengths are. Because I think, everyone is built physically they're built differently. Like if you're 135 pound and you're so flexible, you put your foot behind your head. I'm not going to teach you, to take someone down, pass your guard, and get like on top. I think it's better for you to, play bottom and use your flexibility to your advantage. And then vice versa. If you're a 240 pound D1 high school champion wrestler, then that's totally different. You need to, stay with your strength as a wrestler and learn how to pass someone's guard and pin people and, get to mount and use your strength to your advantage. So like, yeah, even ones who don't want to compete, you still want to know where your strengths are. So, still absolutely roll, go to competition class. It's very important. I don't understand those gyms that don't let you roll for 6 months at all. They just teach you things and then go home.
Another thing that you talk about was the teaching part. Also now that once you become a competitor, like helping others and teaching others, or in wrestling, when I was in college, they had like a body system. So for example, in jiu-jitsu will be if you're a blue belt, pick somebody as a white belt and having your body and like teach each other move and things like that. Like, oh, how am I doing here and there? So you like be like a mentor for somebody else in teaching, because by teaching you can learn more too. Just the small details.
Absolutely. Bless you. Yeah, absolutely. Teaching, you still learn. You still absolutely learn, even as an instructor.
Do
Absolutely.
you think so? I know you taught as a brown belt as well, but it seems like you're competing and teaching a lot more recently. Do you feel like your game is being boosted by the teaching that you're doing, like significantly? Have you noticed?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel more of the pressure now because I want to show my students that what I teach them works. So yeah, absolutely. To answer your question, for sure. Um, and I think that's me personally as a teacher, I think it's more of a rewarding feeling to watch your students win with the way you taught them to versus myself. For me, like now when it's like when I win, I don't feel like I won. I'm just kind of like, whew, glad I didn't lose, on to the next one. But when one of my students win, kids or adults, I get so like, I'm like, yeah, I get so excited and emotional. For me, I'm just like, okay, glad I didn't lose, on to the next one. You know? So yeah, absolutely. It's very rewarding, like for your students to win with, the way you taught them to.
Mm.
That's another thing too. I believe as an instructor, it's still important to compete. A lot of instructors, don't compete, and I think it's very important to lead from the front lines. Like like a king. I think people would respect a king more that was actually on the battlefield and in the front lines. So I would never tell my students, yeah, it's good for you to compete, and then me never compete. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very important to lead from the front
I
lines.
think that is pretty cool for like the students as well to, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's proof that the methods work, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's amazing.
But you talk about like winning and losing, like how they like competing in jiu-jitsu, like in losses that you had before, like how does it help you cope like with personal struggles in life?
Well, with yeah, losing in jiu-jitsu, I think it's the most down you can be if you get like, man, like for me, I used to get armbarred all the time, so I would work, letting people starting in the armbar, working my way out. And yeah, that's something, John Donaher was very, very good about when I was up in New York. Everyone started in fully extended armbar or fully halfway locked in choke. And if you could work yourself out of that, you can about get yourself out of anything else. Um, yeah, absolutely. And I think too, it's important to not take losing in jiu-jitsu so personal to where you like want to stop. I mean, I probably lose that as much as I win, and it motivates me. I mean, I learn a lot from it. So it's an old saying, but you either win or you learn, and it's very true. I think it's very true. And that's why too. At our gym, I've been doing a lot more tournament styles inside the gym, where everyone in the gym's watching. So for the new competitors, like win or lose, they know the feeling. You know, it's not something completely new to them, because I mean, as a first time competitor, you know, if you lose, you just think you suck, and the same for you. You want to move on, and I don't want anyone to be like that, especially if like I'm teaching them.
Yeah, that's definitely can be one of the more challenging things to overcome. It seems like it's just the to at least to me the mental adversity is that
Yeah,
that's I mean yeah, it's a lot to deal with. It can be anyway.
absolutely, absolutely. Like the only person you're competing with really is yourself.
Hmm.
Like I would love to roll with myself from a year ago, 2 years ago, see how much better I've gotten. So, like even
So
Gordon
like,
Ryan says that he's saying
if
he's not trying to be the best, like in the world, because that's just boring. Like being better than the second guy is just boring. He's trying to be better than he was, you know, the year before, and that's just deep. That's crazy.
and also like when they was talking about like losing part, it's like nobody teaches you how to lose either. Everybody's trying to win and win. Like, and how do you deal with loss too? It's something different. It's a part of the game too.
Yeah, man. I mean, the way coach, my dad always taught me to lose is with your head up. Like I remember the first time I ever lost a jiu-jitsu match was a ADCC like nationals, like an open in 2015. I was still a white belt, of course, and I got absolutely destroyed. I was like 8-0 or 9-0, and I thought I was like the best teenage grappler ever. I got humbled really quick, and yeah, absolutely destroyed. Armbar choke, and it was awful. And I thought I just sucked, but he said, "No, you always got to lose with your head high. Like feel like you won because you're going to get better next time." And same thing with my amateur MMA fight. Like he went in there, he knew that I lost because it went to decision, but he said to keep your head up and raise your hands, you know, like you won. And I mean, as a black belt now, that's some of the best advice ever. Like keep your head high. You can always learn from it. You know, come right back and get better. It's competitions all the time. And that's another thing too, why I say as a white belt and a blue belt, you know, tap a lot. You know, it's okay to get beat in the gym, and it's okay to get beat in competition. You always get better. I mean, at the end of the day, if you know any blue belt walks into a store, most of the time, 99% of the time, they're going to be able to beat anyone up in the store. No, so
Also in the gym, it's not a place to show how tough you are. You just have to get better in your game.
absolutely, like leave your ego at the door. Absolutely, that's what I say.
I feel like that kind of ties into one of the other points is advice for students going through difficult times while training. I mean, I feel like the blue belt blues, you know, the times
It's real,
when you feel like you're plateaued, you're not increasing, you're not getting any better. It doesn't feel like it anyway. Um,
right?
but
I think like because getting a blue belt in jiu-jitsu is equivalent, I feel like, to getting a black belt in most other martial arts, because it takes a long time in jiu-jitsu, especially if we do it the way we do it, like IBJJF rules, and you got to at least have been a white belt for 2 years and competed X amount of times. And it takes a long time. So I think for a lot of people, they feel like they've gotten their black belt and that they've done all they can do, and no one wants to wait, you know, 8 more years to get their black belt. I think that has a lot to do with it.
yeah, it does seem like blue belt was one of those. Yeah, I do remember like periods of having a blue belt, which I was a legacy blue belt. You know what I mean? I got it. So like 2 years in, I got my blue belt, and then it was, gosh, I went through 4 years of college, and then it was a year or two after, so it was like 5 or 6 years I had my blue belt. Uh,
Wow. Yeah, I feel you. I was a white belt for 4 years.
yeah. I know
I was a white belt.
Darving, same. I know he knows the pain.
Oh yeah, I was like
Uh,
7 years white belt. 7 years white belt, no, never ending. I have to get a new white belt. That's how long I want, because the other one wore out.
I think too, blue belts. I think a lot of blue belts feel like that means that you're better than all the white belts, but you're still early on and you're still getting tapped by white belts, and I think that defeats a lot of people mentally and emotionally. They think, well, that's it for me, because the white belts are still beat me. It's like, no, just because you got your blue belt don't mean you're better than all the white. It just means you've like trained longer. You're still early on. You're still kind of a rookie. So
Also, it goes the other way around too for people that are new. Like maybe like, oh, you're better than me. I will never be that good. Like no, if you put the time in, just like I did, you also will get better at the game.
yeah, absolutely. It's about mat time. You
Yeah,
can't come once a week and then expect to, could be a black belt anytime soon.
yeah. I don't know if you heard that saying that no amount of intensity will ever make up for your consistency.
Absolutely.
True.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because that's how you get hurt most of the time. You're gonna be like a weekend warrior, just go full clip just the weekend, you just get hurt because your body's not used to it.
Yeah. It's like, to that Dan Gable. He was a wrestler. His quote: "If you're afraid to fail, you'll never succeed." I think that one goes deep, and it's very true. If you're scared to compete, then if you're scared to do jiu-jitsu, if you're scared to roll, you're not going to get any better.
True.
It's very important.
What's your usual approach to coaching and mentoring students?
Yeah. And that goes back to um one. I think it's very important to pick and choose your training partners wisely. Right? Don't go with like the spazzy people, and don't be the spazzy guy either. I think, especially with, if you're competing a lot and you've ranked up blue belt, purple belt. I think the best way to go about it is to get better, is to actually train with someone who's not necessarily new, but maybe like a blue belt or 4-stripe white belt. Like, I think that's how you get better. I think Joe Rogan actually said that recently, like choking out blue belts. I think that's how you get better. Like, if you come in and you just roll with, Derving or Nate or, Matt Walker, and just get beat all the time, yeah, your defense is going to get great, but you're never going to learn how to set anything up. So that's like why I've always had, I guess you call it, an apprentice, like someone that you teach them a lot of things, like to the side, and then roll with them a lot. And usually they'll be a little bit smaller than me, and they're not so bad to where you can do what you want with them. Like, they know the basic principles of defending everything. So like when you're trying something new, like for example, I'm watching the Lachlan Giles instructional on K-Guard right now. I'm not just going to go in and just try it on Derving. I'm going to try it on some, blue belts first, half your size. And then, they're not just going to give it to you. They're going to defend it with what they know, but they're not good enough yet to where they can just absolutely stop it. So that's the way to drill and roll. Like, you're doing both at the same time. You're drilling the move because you're, a higher rank doing it to a lower rank, and they're giving you a lot of resistance because they're actually trying to beat you. And I think that's the way to go. That's how I teach my kids too. Like, just don't go with someone that's even with you. You gotta roll with people you're better than. And that also too comes down. That's mainly for the athletes. The self-defense. Like, people who just come in for self-defense, like the ones who are never going to compete. They're an accountant with 3 kids and a life.
Obviously, we're talking about you, Wes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think same thing a little bit. Like, roll. You need to roll, but you need to work a different like type. Like, instead of learning how to do De La Hiva or something like that, you need to learn how to take someone down and get on top, and then get someone out from under you. So there's 2 different types of people that come into the gym, or what they're looking for. So yeah, and then the main thing too, ego. You got to leave that at the door when you come in the gym. Like, be okay with getting beat. I mean, I am. I let, I'll start in a bad position with a blue belt, and they'll finish it a lot of the times, and that's okay. I mean, that's how you get better. A lot of instructors, I feel like, are very scared of getting exposed. Like, oh, a blue belt just beat my instructor. He's not a good instructor, and that's just not true at all. You roll so much with someone, they're gonna know your game, and they're gonna catch you every now and again, and that's okay. So I mean, that's the way I look at it. Um, Also, too, like with your size and your background, like if you're a bigger guy, you need to work on getting on top, passing someone's guard, and using your pressure as your advantage. If you're a small guy, flexible, I'm not necessarily going to teach you. I think everyone needs to know like the basics, a basic takedown. But if you're going to compete, I think it's better to be on your back and then sweep to get to top. Use your flexibility to your advantage. If you got old man strength, using your strength to your advantage. Grabbing someone's gi and never letting go. I hate that. I hate that so much.
So
I hate that.
brutal to get away from, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just let me go.
Yeah, 2 minutes of the roll is just trying to break that first grip. And then you do, they get a second grip. And
Yeah,
it's,
for
it's
real. That's funny.
Like, being on your back also help give you more limbs to defend yourself.
Absolutely. And you got to get past the feet and the knees, the hands. You got to get past it all. I agree.
I think that's one of the things that blows people's mind the most coming in, like from the street to jujitsu, is like, at least for me, like, when I walked in, my first teacher, Mike's dad, I could not pass his guard. It was so crazy. It was like his feet are hands. Like, how do I get past this? I only have two hands and he's got four limbs. He's attacking me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you think it'd
That
be
to me
easy.
is so mind blowing. Yeah.
You think it's easy just to throw someone's feet by and get on top. It is
Right?
not at all.
They're everywhere.
Well, you said the concept that you talk about, like rolling at your offense with lower belts and defense with higher belts, but like when it comes to like new moves, for example, like K guard with line like us, well, that it kind of like the same concept when it comes to like lifting weights. When you learn how to do a snatch with a kettlebell, you don't pick that 100-pound kettlebell and swing it right at your head and knock yourself out. You should start smaller weight and just going through the movement. It's a full range of motion, and then eventually you go to get more reps and then heavier resistance with the higher belts, so you can practice those moves.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't know much about lifting weights, but that makes sense. I eat pizza rolls to get my strength.
Well, yeah, like because you have to get that muscle memory going, because especially like the sport is really complex and certain moves are hard to do. But like if you like to do reps with smaller people and you start hitting, for example, you catch me one in a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
You come in, so I started doing that like at the same night. I was like, okay, I have to catch somebody that's ham sandwich.
Yes.
I gotta hit it back.
Exactly.
Gotta regain my dignity here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't believe that. Made me do a sandwich.
If I'm trying to hug you and you're derving, there's something going on. So I
Yeah.
pull myself. Something's going on.
I was like, oh no, it's a ham sandwich. But like it usually would like go like smaller belts. It's usually like just trying to challenge yourself. I when I first started, I used to go over a move and trying to hit it in practice. When I was going to competition,
Mhm.
I don't know about you guys, but I should like go think about like okay, how to like hit this move. Eventually, you'll be like two different move as you get better in the game. So you have like a kind of like a idea what you go for instead of just like wandering around.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you do one move over and over with like the same person, then you're gonna know how they would defend it, and then that's gonna lead to the next move. It's amazing.
Right. That definitely, for sure. That's one of the cool things is, I don't know, when you get good training partners and you go with them a lot, you learn each other's games and you have to develop your game or you fall behind. It really does.
A-
Iron sharpens
Absolutely.
iron is, I mean, it's very, very accurate.
Absolutely.
What do you think about cross training, like different gyms? Because sometimes like you said like it's good to train with new people. Also, the other side too is sometimes when you go like with somebody all the time, they like know what your defense is. So like so like you kind of like cancel each other out. When you think about training other gyms like once a month or when you don't have a competition during the weekend, they have open mat, you're showing up in there instead of storming the gym, but you just like go like try new partners and things like that. See how your game is compared to others.
No, I think all in or nothing. I think we're having a dojo war, or we ain't doing this. No, no. Yeah, I think cross training is really good to a certain extent. I wouldn't say go to the same place like every single weekend because then a whole other team's going to know your game. But absolutely, I think cross training, I think it's a good thing because, I mean, after a while, I mean, all the belt ranks that stay and don't leave at blue belt, we all know each other's games. And, the way everyone in your gym defends it is probably not going to be how someone you go against in a competition defends it. So I think it's very important to cross train once or twice a month to go around and I think you can do it as much as possible if you don't ever intend to compete. So if you don't want to compete and rolling in itself is safe, but you still want to know how other people would defend things. So yeah, cross training, I love it and support it very much.
It's like a cheaper way of signing up for a tournament. So it's like $20 open mat instead of paying for like a full tournament, and you'll be done out of there in an hour.
Yeah.
And and also you get to see like different schools how to teach stuff. Like for example, this school is more like a wrestling based jiu-jitsu, or like the jiu-jitsu, the takedowns are good, but the jiu-jitsu like other schools are good in this. Like it gives you like a different perspective of how to work your game along the way.
Absolutely. I think too that helps me as an instructor too. If I'm running out of ideas, and you can go to another school, you see how they teach things, and you bring back ideas. And I mean that's how it was when I went up to New York and trained. I tried to kind of teach the way John did. Obviously, there's only one John, and you can never be two John Donahers. But I liked everything he did, and I tried to bring it back. So yeah, I think especially for an instructor, it's important to cross train too. I mean, really, jiu-jitsu, I think we're all like one big family. Like, you go to tournaments, you know everybody almost if you've been doing it long enough, so absolutely. Very important to cross-train. I don't do it as much as I used to because now I'm teaching a lot more, like 5 or 6 days a week. So I don't get all the free time, but if I get like a Saturday off, I think cross-training is important.
It's a cool thing about like also the tournaments. You get to see like people that are competing. Oh, hey, this guy's coming up. You have to like, he's going against who? Okay, let's go watch this match.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
What like how did you change your life outside the mats?
Man, I think the main thing is just like confidence, like in life. Like I'd say by the time I got my blue belt, I was the most confident person in like high school. It's like, what could anyone else do? If you've been doing jiu-jitsu long enough, like it's John Dunner said this once too, it's like having a superpower. You know what I'm saying? You need to be humble and like nice, don't abuse, your power, go out and just start fights for no reason. But I mean, I feel like I can dress how I want, do what I want. And what are you going to do? Beat me in a basketball match? Beat me in Xbox poker game? I could kick your ass right now if I wanted to. I think it's made me so much more confident. That's the main thing.
It's funny when you try jiu-jitsu, that's the sport itself. Did you look at every other like things, the competition, as just like a video game of actually a end game of
Yes.
just grappling, playing catch
I
that.
love I love too watching like John Wick do jiu-jitsu. I'm like that meme, like, oh yeah. I love that so much.
Oh shit, he's going for a killer zombie.
Y'all watch Reacher at all?
No, I haven't.
Mm-mm.
To Reacher. Oh, but it's really good. This is just big dude who's in the army, and he's like, badass, hand-to-hand combat and weapons and all that. But he had a rival, like this big dude, even bigger than him. He was like, I think he's the new strongest man in the world. Like it was the Mountain on Game of Thrones, that actor, but I think this guy overdid it. And he was rape choking Reacher, and the whole time I was watching the show, I was screaming like, armbar, like just armbar him. It's giving it to you. You're supposed to be this badass, and you don't know basic armbar. Man, it drove me crazy. You'd think I was watching like a Gordon Ryan match or something. But yeah.
It's funny you say that. I think there was actually a Fast and Furious movie where what was it, Matt Walker was getting choked by Vin Diesel, and he actually did a double armbar. I was,
Really?
oh yeah, yep.
I haven't seen all those movies. I saw the Tokyo one. I'm gonna have to check that one out. That double armbar. That's like that's another 10th Planet move. It's the Dead Orchard.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
You have to figure for the shoulders, right?
Yeah, right there above the
Mhm.
shoulders on the neck. Have both arms in. Great move.
Did you know that he was a purple belt, Paul Walker?
Yep.
Really, I believe it. I didn't know it, but I believe it. Justin Bieber was a purple belt too at one time.
Yeah.
Was he
Jiu-jitsu.
really?
His
Yeah.
his training partner was Scott Eastwood,
Hmm.
Paul Walker. They grew up
Is
together
that
for a while.
like the Eastwood, like a related to Clint Eastwood?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood's son.
Wow.
He looked just like him.
Wow. I did not know. That's crazy.
Yeah, he got his black belt recently. Actually, Scott Eastwood.
I know that guy, Ashton Kutcher. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu too.
He's a black belt now.
Yeah, he's a black belt.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's
that's
a
crazy.
brown belt.
Yeah. And
What
look
do you
at him, like
what do you think about some celebrities that got like honorary like belts are awarded to them? For example, like what's the name? Giselle, Brady's ex.
Yeah.
Do you think she's a legit purple belt?
man, it's hard to tell. I mean, it depends on how much time they put on the mat. I'd say chances are not. Like if I was a bet man, I'd say probably not.
Hmm.
But
Unless like she get extra stripes at night with her instructor,
yeah,
because
definitely.
that's her new boyfriend. Those don't count
Yeah,
towards your belt.
yeah, that's a quick way to rank up.
Yeah. The extent that people, like Neil said, the extent people will go nowadays for a promotion. People like Demi Lovato, it was one of those
Demi
like yeah,
Lovato,
like
yeah.
a blue belt as well.
I felt like I heard about her getting her blue belt and then getting her purple belt like really close together too. Like hers just wasn't, it's not just speculation, but like I'm pretty sure that she got those belts very close together, which I don't know. There's also the aspect of I'm pretty sure she like only trained with her instructor, which I'm sure it can be effective, but again, you don't get any looks at any other games, and that to me is like I don't know, man. Like you're just
Yeah,
not used
not a
to
legit.
adapting at all, you know?
I agree 100%.
Because you're getting roped
I
with somebody that you're paying.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think
yeah, you could buy a belt color easy.
was she? I think she's a Higa Machado blue belt. I'm not sure if it was true. John Jacques Machado brother.
Hmm.
He's a blue belt.
No, she got promoted blue belt
Oh,
front
okay.
by him. Higa Machado.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, she's probably legit if it's
Hmm.
his girl.
And some of those you see like, oh yeah, they seem like they're legit. For example, like Hardy, Tom Hardy, he shows up to tournaments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Hardy. Yep.
Yeah.
At least he does it, man. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that.
Another
If
guy
you're a
that's like
celebrity
that,
going out competing,
another guy that's like that, like I think he's legit is what's his name? Was Madonna's ex-husband.
Michael
Um,
Jackson.
no, no, that one.
Wait, no, that was never mind. That was Elvis's daughter.
Yeah. No, I think he was married to Madonna too for like 2 days or something like that. I
Claim to
can't remember his
fame.
name now. um, Guy Ritchie. He's a black belt under Roger Gracie.
Who?
Guy Ritchie, that's his name, but he's a black belt under Roger Gracie.
Well,
Which
then
is
he's probably legit.
yeah, Roger
Hmm.
Gracie is legit. Madonna used to complain about Guy Ritchie having mats in his house because he was that obsessed with jiu-jitsu.
Wow, that's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool to see.
Mhm. He's like he did different movies. The Covenant. Have you heard the movie Snatch? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Rock and Roller, Sherlock Holmes. He's the director for those movies.
Wow. Yeah, he's probably legit then.
Hmm. But yeah, I'm always intrigued, like how, because you don't want the sport itself become like a mall karate, just being like people getting awarded for being a billboard of the sport.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's exceptions though. Like Nicky Rod went from blue belt to brown belt pretty fast. Like, but he was Nicky Rod. He was out there killing it in competition. Helena Cravar right now, she was a blue belt like I think less than a year ago. Now she's a brown belt. I think there's some exceptions.
Yeah. I mean, she's been murdering everybody though. It's crazy what she's been able to do.
And she does it in gi and no gi. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the
She got a
equivalent of
match.
being the equivalent of being a good pitcher in baseball and softball. Being like good in both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Helena's got a match coming up against Elizabeth Clay. I'm excited to see that
That'd
match.
be cool. That'd
Yeah.
be really cool, I think.
Yeah, she just murdered the whole competition. Who did she lose against in ADCC in the finals?
I wish.
Was it Fiona? No, it wasn't Fiona.
I want to say it was a Brazilian girl. Oh, I think about Helena. I mean, no, Helena, Adele. Adele's Fiona weight class though. She's not Helena. But
Hmm.
like, it wasn't like a dominating fashion. She just got shut down
Yeah,
Oh.
the game.
yeah, she didn't get submitted or anything. I know she a couple weeks ago made it to the finals or semifinals of the gi absolute at Pans and went against Sarah Galvo, Andre's daughter, and that was a really good match. And Galvo got that one. That was a really good match.
It's crazy to see her go against like Maggie. Uh, what's her last name now? You know, Cyborg's ex.
Cyborg, like Roberto Cyborg,
Like
jiu-jitsu guy or the MMA
yeah,
girl?
jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, no, I didn't know she
the heavyweight.
competed.
Oh yeah, she's up there. She's high level competition, and she got destroyed by Helena. I think in was it UFC Fight Pass, something like that.
Oh, the Fight Pass Invitational. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yep, I didn't know that there was any relation there. That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, and she's killing it, man. And she's not even an adult yet.
I know.
The sky's the limit for her, man.
Yeah.
Just stick to it. She's gonna be the gold in women. The only one that's in her way is Fionn. That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
But everybody else, she just dominating. Also, the coach that she has with her, in which I don't know how long. Have you heard that he's thinking about retiring? John Danaher.
Yeah, he's having some physical issues.
Where do you see
Yeah,
him?
he had to have another hip replacement, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you see him going next if he's no coaching?
I think I've been speculating Gordon because he ain't competed in a hot minute, but he's always training. Like he posts videos all the time of him training, and from the instructionals, I say Gordon Ryan's an exceptional instructor as he is competitor. So it wouldn't surprise me if Gordon stepped down from competing to take John's place. If he does, hope he don't retire, but if he does,
He was talking the recent podcast with Joe Rogan, the Fight Companion, that he's been working on opening a gym on Northeast Austin.
yeah, called New Wave HQ.
So I wonder if that's the game plan for him.
Yeah, I think so. I wish he would, if he's retired. I wish he'd announce it.
Right. Yeah. True. He did have I can't remember. It was a podcast a while back where he talked about how he thought like Gordon said he would I thought he said something like he would retire when Danaher did. Like he didn't want to compete without Danaher as a coach. I
Yeah,
thought there was
true.
a podcast when he said that.
Yeah, I
Which
forgot about that, and I believe that. Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's kind of
think
understandable. You learn to work with a guy that closely for that long. Yeah, I mean,
absolutely, absolutely, that would make sense. Like Khabib and his dad.
yep, yeah, exactly.
He goes beyond the sport at the point
Right, exactly.
because I mean they moved to Puerto Rico together.
Yeah,
Yes.
so how that. Yeah, I think there is one thing that'll keep Gordon from competing though, and this is just my opinion as a fan. Um, Cayenne Dorte, he now has 4 ADCCs, and Gordon has the most with 7, but Cayenne's knocking on the doorstep. He's like closing the gap. So I think that might, if anything, keeps him from retiring. I think that would do it.
It's valid. That's a pretty prestigious claim right there. Most
Mm-hmm.
ADCC.
Yeah.
He kind he beat who did he beat that was like crazy because he beat like Craig Jones. No, he beat Nicky Rod early on too, right?
Yeah, he's 2-0 against Nicky Rod, and they have a match next weekend on WNO.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I'm betting on Cayenne. Same thing. I mean, I told everyone Victor Hugo was going to beat Nicky Rod, but no one believed. I mean, there's just some people that have your number. Victor was already 4-0 against him.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was in the pit, it would be different. But now it's just Matt's now, so
Yeah.
I think Cayenne's got him. Yeah, they fought in the finals of ADCC 2019, and then a week later they fought at Fight to Win, and Cayenne actually heel hooked him.
Yes, because they were like within a month of each other, right? Those 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Now Nicky Rod was like a blue belt back then.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Danaher, what do you think about Danaher's promotion? When he promotes you, he gives you knives. How cool is
I don't
that?
understand it. I think it's cool. I don't understand it though. I think it's different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who does Nicky Rod has a black belt? Oh, he's a brown belt.
He's a black belt now.
Yeah, because I think it was when he got his black belt, he posted a picture with a freaking Magnum.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah, that didn't click with me until you just said that. I didn't know what they were doing, but yeah, I got it now.
Bring a knife to a gunfight. I was like, wow, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh my gosh. B Team's
All right, so,
hilarious. I love their
yeah,
trolling. Their trolling is
Mhm.
amazing.
absolutely. It's brought a lot of eyes to the sport too.
For sure. Yeah, no doubt.
You're really marketable.
Absolutely.
Mhm. But you guys can keep talking. Hold on, I gotta take a piss.
What are some matchups like you want to see?
Some matchups?
Yeah, like in ADCC CJI coming up.
I mean, there's always the uh Nikki versus Gordon rematch yet again. I love to see that. I feel like that's I don't know. Well, partially they hate each other, so I feel like that makes it
Mm-hmm.
kind of interesting. But
Yeah, get the people what they want.
yeah, no, for real.
Everyone wants that.
um, but I don't know. It's really cool to see because it's kind of like the athleticism versus the like methodical step by step approach. I don't know because Nikki's I don't know he's different. You know, he's built different. He's one of those guys that's super athletic, super good at
Mm-hmm.
what he does. But
Yeah.
then there's Gordon Ryan, which he knows the technique, he knows step by step what he's gonna do. But I love that matchup. It's so interesting to see when they go against each other. You know.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think. I think that's Nicky Rod's kryptonite. Like against the pros, obviously he'd like wipe me clean off the mats, but like against like Gordon and Victor, I think those guys that do the step by step approach, I think that's like his kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he's not able to overwhelm you immediately with like his movements and guard passing and get to your back, I think that's his kryptonite. I agree. I think that's a good matchup because the last time they fought on UFC Fight Pass, he gave Gordon a run. He actually submitted him, but the time was out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I totally give that to Gordon. I wouldn't want to get my jaw crushed any more than it had to anyway. But you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, all right, we're done. Like, let go.
What was the injury that Gordon had there?
He broke. Nicky Rod broke his foot. The 50-50 toe hold.
That's right.
Yep, broke his foot and then like crushed his jaw when the time expired. That's how you know the hatred's real. I don't care what anyone. Nicky Rod knew the time was up and he kept squeezing.
For sure. Yeah, no doubt there.
It's crazy that Gordon is only 29.
It is really brings it home every time I think about like, dang, he's only like a couple years older than I am, and he's done that much. That's crazy.
Yes, it is. And then there's like Helena, who's only 17.
Yeah.
And the Ruotola brothers, they've done so much too, and they're like 20.
Yeah. Yep. It is really cool to see the new generations. I mean, what do you think about it? The new people coming up who have done it since they were kids. I mean, it's so interesting, right?
I mean, absolutely. I think the ones that are up and coming right now are from gyms that, and I have this written down, the understanding the times. Like they're adapting to like what's new. Like there's a lot of gyms too that are still traditional, like no leg locks till purple belt or brown belt. That's just not the reality anymore. You got to train them early, and now you got like Aoki locks and buggy chokes and all kinds of stuff. New you got to train to maybe not everyone can do them, but at least defend them.
For sure.
So I mean, yeah, the new generation of jiu-jitsu, it's awesome, and it's grown the sport so much. I love it and I hate it. Like I love it for the world. It's better for the world. But as my own personal, reasons of competing, I hate it because you never know what they could throw at you nowadays.
Absolutely true. Yeah.
And ADCC, like the trials back then was only like 3 or 4 matches. And now ADC's trials is like 256 people and all the brackets are full. You gotta be different to win that now.
Mm-hmm. You got Tackett, have you seen Jet Thompson?
I have not.
He's not like super well known, but he's definitely, I feel like he has the potential to get there. I only heard about him because I went to a AGF tournament, and actually Mike was helping with the awards, and I was working something else, so we were helping work the tournament. But they were talking to this kid, and they're like, "Yeah, man, why don't you like come help with the tournament? They'll let you in for free, all this stuff." He's like, "Oh, I'm already sponsored." So AGF sponsors this kid. He competes for free, but like back then he was like 14, something like that. But he was competing in the adult divisions and dominating.
Wow.
And now he's 16, maybe 17. And just absolutely killing it. It's crazy to see. He reminds me of Helena. Not quite at that level, not quite out there that much, but doing extremely well, yeah.
Absolutely. Just gotta hope he sticks with it.
For sure, yeah.
It's also something with confidence too, like competing at that level. Like some kids are learning geometry. He's learning how the angle for a triangle choke.
Yeah.
The angle that breaks the knee.
Yeah. Focal point. Crazy. Because like now, but you were saying like knowledge is power as far as like some people that refuse to do certain techniques. That's like, for example, like the UFC was like the way, like as far as like knowledge of all the different techniques that are possible. Before that, people used to like, yeah, if I like put my finger right here, you're knocked out, or point your head down, you're dead. But now, like the information is readily available for everybody, and if
Mm-hmm.
you have to teach everybody everything, otherwise they feel like they are not getting to the full potential, and that might be the reason why Nicky Ross will not be able to beat those guys because they know those positions that he wants to put him in.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, the information's out there now, easy access.
I remember who said that in the era of information, ignorance is a choice.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that.
Because how many instructionals can you get? The information's not there.
Yeah, I have a few of them myself.
Do you
I'm like
think
watching two different ones right now.
do you think it's more difficult to get on the mat and do the like competitions, things like that, or sitting down for an hour watching instructional?
Watching an instructional. It's so hard to keep that. It's like being in school again. It's for something you enjoy, so you can
Yeah.
do it. But I mean, it's way more fun to go out and practice it. But like for me, I'm in the gym from like 12 to 3 every day watching, instructionals and film. I think too, watching matches, I think watching like professional jiu-jitsu players go at it is even more important than watching the instructionals because they're proving at that point that it works. So, I mean, I watch Gordon Ryan tape all the time.
The there's the proof is in the pudding of all the techniques that we'll go through.
Yeah, it is.
And those sequences, like it's like not so much the end game or like the end move, also like the sequences themselves. They're just like he like breaks you. For example, like I was watching the match Marcelo Garcia when he was side control. He was able to get north south with the over under. Like like never thought about doing that. When going
Mm-hmm.
from side control, go straight to north south doing it that way over under.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually just had a match with Mazuki Imanari on
Yeah,
One
that's what I'm
FC.
talking about. That
Yeah,
match.
he goes in with like a reverse head and arm, and I played with that for a while. It works.
And how strong is that freaking north south? Do you see what he did to Kendall
Mm-mm.
in north south? She had to get stitches on her lip because she
Oh my
freaking her
goodness.
I
lip.
did see that. I did see that. Yeah, yeah.
They were
Nate,
fighting.
you're the North South choke guy.
I do like that one.
That's your game right there.
Hey man,
Isn't
it takes the legs out of the equation usually, unless they're super flexible.
Yeah, no, it usually takes the legs out of the equation. Actually, with one of my kid students right now, Hartley, she's 12 years old, and she does privates with me all the time. And we've been working the North South choke. And when we do matches, like for kids class, I'll tell her, all right, you can only hit a North South choke. That's the only thing I'm going to let you do. She's been hitting them like crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's built for it. I think that's very important too.
It seems like one of those things that it's very effective, but not many people look for it or know you're going to go for it, and so
Mm-hmm.
they don't know how to defend it. So you just sink it in, and it's great. I love that.
Yeah, there's no like taught defense to it. Just
Right.
kind of that's when you got to figure
It's
out
like
on your
don't
own.
get there, basically.
Exactly.
have you tried to do a Banflu show for side control, but without the guillotine grip that somebody has on you?
Yeah. It's like basically the shoulder of justice in side control, but like on the throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very effective. Even if you don't want to get the submission, it opens up a lot. They don't want to be there.
Yeah, in the bad position for them. And sometimes you get lucky; they just give you the bag.
Yeah, exactly. I take that every time.
Yeah. Why we go into man where you can just go to the bag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts like on the jiu-jitsu evolving as far as like the jiu-jitsu culture?
I mean, like I said, I think it's good for the world. I mean, I don't like it for myself. It's growing so much, it makes it harder to win the bigger tournaments because every big tournament's stacked now. But and you also know what you never know what moves are going to be thrown at you now. But yeah, for the world and for the growth and to get eyes on the sport, very important. Absolutely. Like CJI, that's just something totally different, and it's crazy. I can't wait for CGI too. I think that's a good idea. I want to one day get a pit in the gym. I think that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, a pit in the cage.
Yeah, a pit in the cage.
Yes.
That's different. We might have to try that one day. Like half of the cage is just the cage, and the other half is pit.
Yeah.
The pit has a ceiling that's a cage.
Yeah. This is like welcome to Hell in a Cell. Um, what was I going to tell you about? Uh, how you forgot about that? Um, about I just lost it. But it's sort of like evolving on the sport, like because you have like different people that they're um. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. CGI two teams. What do you think about that? The format.
Yeah, quintet style. I think it's interesting because you could get like a 66 kilo guy going against a 88 kilo guy, and that's a really, like we talked about earlier, like two different styles going at it. You know, most of the time the little guys will be playing bottom, and their guard, like when Lachlan at ADCC 2019 submitted 399 plus kilo guys, Kyan, Muhammad Ali, and Patrick Gaudio. Like I think we want to see more of that. That just proves jiu-jitsu works. You know, being a little guy submitting big people. I love it. I can't wait for it. That's wish Gordon Ryan was doing it.
That's what he became that giant slayer. Lanagal.
Yes, the Giant Slayer.
Um, also going to tell you about oh, as far as like jiu-jitsu, have you noticed like more people involved in jiu-jitsu after like 2020? Because I mean, before like 2015, there's people going comment and stuff like. But it seems like after that time, it's a lot of people started jiu-jitsu. Like you wouldn't even think about that they will be doing the sport itself.
Yeah, I mean, you know, during the lockdown, there wasn't many sports available, but I think jiu-jitsu is kind of like a cult. I think people were breaking the rules and still training anyway, and it got people wanting to be active. And I mean, I think that helped it a lot.
Yeah,
And they were still
and that's
doing jiu-jitsu competitions were still open during COVID too.
hmm and also
UFC
you
was
said
still going on.
True.
yes, true. That's what Abu Dhabi started, right? The the Fight Island
Hmm.
because of it.
Yes.
That's the sport that you can get better, you can get stronger, and also you can um learn all the time. But one of the funniest thing I hear from people, I will start doing jujitsu when I get in shape. Like, dude, wait, you don't have to be in shape. You ever see? So it's like really like fit in jujitsu.
Yeah, no, you don't have to be in shape to be good at jiu-jitsu at all.
Yeah,
like the first time my dad met Marcelo Garcia, he went up there to train with him, and he said Marcelo came out to shake his hand, and he had like a thing of cheese balls that he was eating. Just terrible diet.
he's a freaking
And
killer.
yeah, absolutely. I think he was the GOAT before Gordon Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like amazing. He's one guy that usually doesn't get seen like as that over the radar is Hojo Gracie.
Yeah, Gee GOAT.
Uh,
I mean, legend. He went out the way you should go out. Like he submitted Buchecha like it was nothing.
mhm. In all
And this
his
is Buchecha
games,
we're talking about.
yeah, in all his moves are fundamental.
Fundamental. Yes. Basic collar chokes. Cross collar chokes.
Nothing flashy.
No. That in itself should prove that how effective jiu-jitsu is.
Have you ever seen this guy Paul Craig in the UFC?
I have not. I don't
He
watch
has a
much.
he has a nasty guard. Like he like you full guard, he can just like grab your wrist and get like wrist control. He's able to throw a triangle from there, by from cigar over your arm, and then you throw the triangle over when you try to pull your arm back. Or he does other like his guard's ridiculous. He's from Scotland, I think.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive.
I wish that more people would like more like that in the sport.
Yeah, I know.
What advice do you give like those struggling to stay motivated in training?
You said what? It kind of broke up there.
What advice would you give to those struggling to stay motivated in training?
Well, first you need to like staying motivated. You need to ask why you're lacking motivation. Like, why are you not motivated anymore? Is it like finding other interests? Is it, you're getting beat all the time? I think you need to, ask yourself why first. And I'd say, I mean, everyone's situation is different, but if you don't have a reason to stop, like, don't. Like, jiu-jitsu is always evolving. You can always, always get better. I think like jiu-jitsu is like the best therapy in the world if you do jiu-jitsu. Like, you're having a bad day at work, bad day in your home life, you come in, you could legally choke people and armlock people. Yeah, and it's amazing. So I think I'd just say do more jiu-jitsu. Like, for me, the only time I ever considered quitting was in middle school. I was like 15, 4-stripe white belt, and I had my first like heartbreak. Girlfriend broke up with me, cheated on me, something like that. And I was ready to quit. I was like, I have no reason to do this anymore. And then that's when my dad took me up to New York to train with Eddie Cummings, and I was like immediately rejuvenated. So like, find a reason to rejuvenize yourself.
For some reason, sometimes you just feel like an abusive relationship that you have to fall in love, find a way to fall in love with it over again, even though it brutalizes
Yes.
you.
That's so true.
So you just sometimes you just need something like to spark again. Like, why are you doing it? Because sometimes it feels like that for me. But I mean, like why, like going over the move, just I'm going through the motion. But it's like, oh, that's why. Just learning other things in the sport.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you stay in your own realm, like I struggle with that too. Like, especially in competing, I stay in my comfort zone, like the leg locks, the knee shield. So a couple weekends ago, I went to just a local tournament, a good fight up in Boone, and I told myself I'm not going to leg lock. I'm going to go out there and try other things. And I went all the way to overtime, but I got an armbar. That was the first non-leg lock submission I've gotten since 2016. That was an amazing feeling. So, yeah, finding other reasons, get out of your comfort zone, and it'll make you want to learn something new.
Yeah, the beauty of the sport is also everything you want is outside your comfort zone. That's how you learn moves and get better.
Mm-hmm.
It also applies to your game and also in life to learn new
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
Do you have like a um? What's your Instagram? You have
I
like
think should be slushy jiu-jitsu or something like that.
do you have
Yeah,
like any?
slushy.
Do you have any like anything coming up like you wanna advertise with us?
There's a TFA May 17th. I ain't got a match for it yet, but that's the next for sure competition I'm doing. I'm 0-3 at TFA for some reason, so I got to get a win. Got to get a win at TFA.
Go to South Carolina with.
Yeah, because I was the main event, and then I lost, and then I was the co-main event, and then I lost. So I keep going down on the card. So I gotta get my way back up.
Okay, we ain't got your match, but you go be doing parking lot right now. I'm all parking like, damn it.
Yep, I'm gonna be in the parking lot by the time it's over with.
Oh man, that sucks. Oh, shout out to Avery.
Yes.
Well, yeah, man. Do you have any questions, Nate?
I'm good on my end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thank you for joining us today on a Monday night.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I got to get up in a little bit to teach morning class.
Yeah. Well, well, thank you again for
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much. It was good to talk to you, Nate.
Good talking to you.
Yeah. Just so you can tell people, just share. We have like where we are streaming Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Well, thank you again. Till next time, Bad Matters Podcast.
Absolutely. Later, guys.
Till next time. Well, you can stay, Devin, for a little bit, and for like 5 minutes. Wait for it to load. Because
All right.
minutes.